You're live on the AM show, and this is the news review segment. Ben and I are ready. Joining us on via Zoom this morning is Dr. Asah Asante. Good morning, Doc. Before I introduce our next guest, let me be sure that Doc is with us. Doc, are you with us?
Good morning, sweetie. And good morning to Ben and then our viewers as well.
Doc, remember watching you.
Yeah.
Right. And we also have in studio with us this morning Kofi-Capito, Chief Executive Officer of Consumer Protection Agency. Mr. Capito, welcome to the program. It's been a minute.
Yes, more than a minute.
Yeah. Right. Benjamin.
All right, so we'll take your thoughts. This morning, I couldn't help myself but swing in two issues. One, I slept in darkness, and it's been happening nowadays. I get home and I see certain signs. And two, the performance of the Black Stars. And now the manager of the team says, oh, Ghanaians are being emotional. We played well, but we are being emotional. I don't know whether when you play well and you lose, that is a trophy. The NSA board chair says Akufo-Addo should go. By the way, he earns $50,000 a month. Those are my initial thoughts. I don't know what you think. Doc, let me start with you. What are your two pursuers on these matters and anything else you want to talk about?
Yes, it's unfortunate we are in darkness. I myself, yesterday, I slept in darkness. That's why this morning I'm not able.
You also slept in darkness, eh?
I am still in darkness. Yes.
Well.
I don't know whether we are in Doomsaw or we are not. Yeah. But I want to look at Ghana Medical Association. The recent, report that they brought out, calling, out their own about certain ethical breaches, about certain, offenses relating to the job of some medical doctors there. I am here to commend them, to as it were, to let them know that the state is behind them. By that courage alone, calling out their own, those who have crossed the line and all that, is a mark of what, leadership.
Okay.
And I commend them. But the conversation should not end there. They should follow through to its logical conclusion that we know the evils in that industry so that the organization as well as the state will fix it. Because the things we are talking about are serious crimes and serious issues that must be looked at it. We must look at them and then deal with them head on. And that should also be a learning curve for everybody, so that when we are professionals, we remain professionals as such, and then we do what is needful for our society.
All right.
This is my statement for today.
Thank you, Doc, for those thoughts. It's obvious you had light, right, Kofi-Capito?
Yes, I have lights.
Okay.
I had lights, and I still have lights.
Good for you.
But let me piggyback on what Dr. Asante said about the medical thing. Ghana, you see, we behave or pretend as if we don't know what is wrong with us. That is my problem. It's okay for him to applaud them for doing what they are doing. Is it news? I'm a consumer protection person, right? This is a country that even doctors get angry when you tell them you want to go and seek a second opinion. When a doctor diagnoses your problem and you say, let me go and seek a second, he tells you why you don't think, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. There's a particular doctor in Ghana. One of these, I'm going to mention his name. He was at 37 Military Hospital. Now he's one of the big doctors at the bank of, the one in Canton.
The bank hospital.
The bank hospital. This guy needs to be sacked from the medical fraternity. Me. One day I wake up, I have a very pain in my leg. I called somebody at 37. So come, I know a friend, a doctor, who would sort you out. The moment I walked through the door, the first question he asked me, oh, did you bring a lot of money? I am quoting him. And I said, oh, if it's money, no problem. But let's see what we need to do. I saw him write. All of a sudden, he says I should go and do an MRI.
Without,
my leg,
without examining you.
Oh, I'm telling him my story. You know, so I said, okay. Went and did the MRI. Came back, he claimed that, oh, there's a vein somewhere that is affecting into my leg, so he's going to do a surgery. 37 Military Hospital. I have his name. He's a Votarian. I'm giving hints. He's at the Bank Hospital right now. He came from 37 Hospital. Okay. So I told him, Master, you don't even know me. I'm not your patient. How do you say, oh, no. I was trained in Germany. I've been doing this, blah, blah, blah. I
think now you're dropping too many hints.
But I haven't mentioned any name.
Yes, but I was trained in Germany.
But it's not the name
Voltarian used to be at 37.
I'm just saying it's not the name that I'm using. I can't mention the name, but certain things I can mention. I'm entitled to it. Even I can mention his name. He can hold me responsible. If you let me.
Please don't.
Okay, fine. So let me tell my story. Then he says, oh, why are you afraid? I say, yes, I am afraid that you are going to do a spinal thing on me. Then he said, oh, okay, don't worry. Then he started writing things, blah, blah, blah. He's going to give me epidural.
But an epidural, I mean, I know it's used for surgeries, but also it is, you know, placed. Yes, it's still your spine.
Have you seen a woman delivery that they've given them an epidural before? I saw my last son being delivered. I was in the delivery room. It's something that you shouldn't play with. Even women should not even play with it. The slightest move, you are gone, paralyzed. It is my leg, oh. I didn't say my waist.
No, but
why are you doubting his competence?
Because let me end my story.
Okay.
So when I insisted, I told him, you know what? Not today. Do you have any pain injection? He said yes. I said, give me a pain injection. I took the pain injection. The next morning up to today, I'm fine.
But did you check the leg out though? Because sometimes you may think, did you check it out?
Check the leg. There's nothing wrong with my leg.
Did you get a second opinion?
There's nothing wrong with my leg. I'm just telling you, it is my body. I know my body better than the doctor. There's nothing wrong with my leg.
But what you mentioned, I mean,
we
have to move into the papers.
No, I'm just understand, but I'm just saying that yes, doctors in Ghana, this is the only country that, and it's even the way we start training them. From the medical school, they are made to feel they are gods. Sometimes I agree because they can take your life and give you your life. Okay,
they are like judges.
Huh?
They don't take lives.
Oh, do you know how many times doctors have made mistakes that people have done?
All right, so it's a human institution.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's move on. But I've also encountered doctors who are okay with seeking a second opinion. In fact, in other parts of the world, it is common practice, and no one should buy you from that. So if you feel that you've seen any medical practitioner or professional and you think, I want a second, even third or fourth opinion, it's your life, it's your body. Go ahead and see. And you don't need to seek permission from that practitioner to go and get a second opinion. So probably don't tell them, just go.
Then even an
go
injection.
And get that.
This is a country that when you're going to be given an injection, they don't even tell you whether you have a reaction to the injection or not.
Okay,
Drop your pants.
Let's get into the paper. I have the Ghanaian publisher with me. On the front page, court dismisses GCNet's 4 billion Ghana cedi claim, awards 2.2 million costs to Ghana. Mahama Airbus scandal, fresh revelations emerge. Akufo-Addo commissions flower pot interchange that happened yesterday. Many are excited. Asin South MP gives best teacher a car. And 3 caged over 160,000 Ghana cedis fraud against Alpha Lotto. Right, let's get into it. 3 main stories. We'll do the court dismissing GCNet, Airbus scandal, and then the commissioning of this. No, I do want to get into this caged over Alpha Lotto. So, on the Airbus scandal, in a 4-hour exclusive interview with the Africa Report, Samuel Mahama, who served as a middleman in the deal, revealed that Airbus likely hired him in 2009 because of his familial ties to John Mahama, then Vice President of Ghana. Now, Samuel Mahama has also conceded that John Mahama, as a senior government official, was involved in the arms deal facilitated by him, Samuel, contrary to claims by John Mahama that Airbus dealt directly with Ghanaian authorities. And he confirmed many central claims made public by the Serious Fraud Office and Department of Justice in 2020. It's a very long read, so you have to just grab a copy for yourself and read. I believe we all know the story. Let me go to 3 caged over 160,000 Ghana cedi fraud against Alpha Lotto. So 2 sub-agents of Alpha Lotto, a private lotto company in Accra, and a phone repairer have been remanded into police custody by the Dansoman Circuit Court. The suspects, Albert Nitete, Wisdom Kotoshi, and Richard Osei, are accused of defrauding their employer of 160,000 Ghana cedis, and the accused pleaded not guilty to all charges and are set to reappear in court on November 27, 2024. It's an interesting read, but let's move on. So, yesterday, the Minister for Roads and Highways, Asenso Boakye, traced the history of the project, that is the Flower Pot Interchange, highlighting its evolution since sod cutting in 2016. He explained, quote, originally planned as 2 overpasses, the design has been ingeniously expanded to include a continuous viaduct, 2 new roads through East Legon, and enhanced connections to key areas such as Cantonment and Spintex. And beyond enhancing mobility, these facilities were strategically designed to support local businesses and generate employment opportunities. I've heard commentary coming in about why it's taking us so long, why we are commissioning it now at this point, and so on and so forth. But let's get into the final story I want to do now in the Ghanaian Publisher. Court throws out GCNet's 4 billion Ghana cedi arbitration claim and awards $2.2 million cost to Ghana. So an international arbitration tribunal in London has dismissed the claims of Ghana Community Network Services Limited, that's GCNet, against Ghana. The tribunal ordered GCNet to pay Ghana a little over $2 million in legal fees, and this comprises $1,744,000 in legal representation and $441,932 for fees and expenses of Ghana's expert witness, together with interest on the aggregate amount of $2 million and a little about that, as simple interest from 30 days following the date of the tribunal's award until payment of the rate. I think we all know the story and how we went to court. You know, this GCNet was contracted somewhere in 2000. After 20 years, the contract was terminated. Kofi Capital, I want to know what you make about this. But before I come to you, I want to just rush through the headlines in the Ghanaian Publisher so we don't have to come back to it. Asante commends Ashanti Regional Minister for remarkable infrastructure projects. Communication Minister visits girls' ICT centers in Ashanti region. Government constructing housing units for Agenda 111 hospitals. Really? Let me just get a bit of this. The government, through the private sector, is constructing a total of 14,420 housing units for the Agenda 111 hospitals, which are being constructed across the country. Each of the hospital sites will have 140 housing units made up of 40 one-bedroom units and 48 two-bedroom units and 52 three-bedroom units. And the project is being implemented by Acrots Consult, a subsidiary of Acrots Group, in collaboration with the Ministries of Works and Housing. NDC fingers Brigadier General Opoku in NPP election rigging agenda. We saw that press conference yesterday calling on the IGP to be vigilant. Vote buying reported in Ashanti, Savannah, and Western regions, according to Kodi. And all these stories, we'll get into it later on in our big stories on the AM show. Mr. Capito. Oh, we have Dr. Kwame. Please, let me go to Dr. Kwame Asah Asante before I come back to you. Doc.
Yes. I want to start with the Airbus scandal.
Right.
Every time that we are going for election, this story repeats itself. It's something that I observed. And then soon after election, you don't hear anything about that. Recently, the OSP went into it and came out with his finding, which we know too well to recount it here. So this story, for me, I will not go into it.
Well, the new information has come to light, Doc, is that Mahama's brother is admitting taking a bribe. So
yeah, but
they are saying it.
This is my observation.
Right.
That any time we are going for elections, they come out. And interestingly, when in the last election, they brought it earlier, and then during the peak of campaign, one would have thought that that is where they were going to hammer and use. Nobody heard anything about it. So for me, and from where I sit, I take it with a pinch of salt.
Right.
So I'll leave it, let it roll. and let's see how it goes.
Okay.
I want to look at this flower pot interchange that was made. Yesterday was commissioned and all that. I commend the government for a good work done and the rest of them. This is what governments ought to do at all times. They have to do that and make sure that we get the best. And let me remind government and then future governments and all that, that one of the responsibilities of the state is to ensure that you provide social amenities, including roads, hospital, and all that. So when they do these things, they should know it's part of their duty that they're supposed to do. We are not going to dwell so much in commending them so much and all that. It's your duty. Me as a teacher, when I teach and my students go well in public life and do well, it's part of my duty. I don't deserve it. So we have praised them a little. They should move on and fix more roads. We need that.
Right.
And then we should be able to fix more to the extent that a time should come that this infrastructure development, we should move on into other places that can create jobs for us. All right? It's not every time that we are constructing new roads and all that. I know in our peculiar circumstances and all that. But we should create roads that will last for a very long time. Nkrumah constructed motorway, and it's still very strong. We have done so many roads, and today, when you drive on such roads, you realize that it's a sorry story. So
right.
Something that we have to also look at. The issue of Agenda 111 housing units. Brilliant idea, and government has done well. We commend government. But we want to also make sure that we ensure value for money. And how do we do that? Maintenance culture, all right, should be able to we should hold it in high esteem and make sure that all the buildings that we have in the bush today, which, started from President Akufo-Addo era and the rest of them, what are we doing about that? We spent a whole lot of money to put these structures up. And today we don't have value for money.
Right.
And this we need to avert our minds to.
Thank you so much, Doug. I don't know if your line just dropped or if you've concluded, but thank you. And you were asking, Mr. Capito, who said it? So it was a 4-hour exclusive interview that Samuel Mahama himself granted the Africa Report. And I'm just, catching up on that here right now. So he himself said that.
He said what? Let's be clear.
He said he accepted that Airbus paid him 2.7 million and circumvented its compliance system. Let me read what he said from the African Reports.
Because it's one thing. It's one thing accepting that I was paid something for certain services, and another thing to say I took a bribe.
I took a bribe.
Yes.
So we have to be careful with some of
He said Airbus paid millions for my help with arms trade to Ghana. So that's what he said. I'm just quoting.
And of course, that's so how is that a bribe?
What's your reflection?
I'm just saying that, like Dr. Asante said, this is nonsense to my ears. Like he said, every election time. You see, this is what we do to ourselves, and we don't progress. Last night, I like to see things for myself. So after the president opened that interchange or highway, I said, let me go and see it for myself so that I can speak about it, and I can say it's a beautiful thing. From the Burma Camp Road to East Legon, it didn't even take me more than, it was less than 10 minutes.
Right.
That is what I want Ghana to become. Not this nonsense about you did this and I'm doing this. Let's develop Ghana.
Okay.
The money is not for the president or the political party. The money is for the people of Ghana. Use it for the people of Ghana to benefit. Look, I'm against the fact that, and this is, some people will not agree with me, but the question is, if you are a minister for roads, transport, and you are riding in a Land Cruiser, and I don't have good roads, I have a problem. And I don't have good buses or transport, I have a problem. Because in other jurisdictions, that is what they do. They don't even ride in the Land Cruisers. but they make sure that the public has public transport. Joe Biden, his nickname was Amtrak Joe. Do you know why he was called Amtrak Joe? He lived in Delaware. And as a congressman, he said it was too expensive for him to have 2 houses, one in Delaware and one in Washington. So he rode the Amtrak train every Friday and Monday. Okay, if I am an MP at Suhum, in Sawam, Pram Pram, if we have good roads, why should I come and live in Accra? Why should I burden the people of Ghana? I can stay in my house in Pram Pram because there are good roads. If I leave my house in 30 minutes, maximum 1 hour, I should be.
You could even be coming from the eastern region,
Central region, central region,
and coming to.
This is what I want the government of Ghana to do. Give me what I need, not what you want.
Okay.
You didn't ask me to vote for you to get what you want. You say I should vote for you for me to get what I want.
Right.
And until we hold them accountable, they will never. I applaud. It started from, is it the Atamil's time or John Mohammed's time? We finished it. Wonderful. I don't like this thing that this is Akufo-Addo Highway. I'm glad that he named it the Flower Pot Interchange. Beautiful.
Right.
Normally, you hear one was called this called Mahama Road. Right? Why is it called Mahama Road? Okay, right. So this is wonderful. And then you're looking at the other one, which is the housing.
Right.
Same thing.
Agenda 1111.
Agenda 111. Look, I just came from America. The campaign, there is a housing deficit in America. And it's Ghana, I don't understand why the government always wants to build the housing. Make the money available so that private people can access it and don't do this social nonsense. We've moved on social nonsense. Ghana, everything is social. Let people buy the house. Let them own it so that they'll be responsible. We was talking about lack of maintenance. If you own the house, you will maintain the house.
All right. We have
all right. So, I mean, you've made some interesting points on these. The minority in Parliament raised an issue, though, that I think no one has touched on. The fact that the project increased from 69 million to 700 million over time. And I don't say it just specifically with regard to this project. We have the penchant. A project will start 2 million. By the time it's done, it's costing 30 million. The National Cathedral is an example. And even that has not been touched. So while we salute and while continuity is great, we need to look at how much we end up expending on these projects and whether we are getting value for money. Are you done with your papers?
Yes, but you were asking me earlier about the football thing, the Black Star thing.
Yes. It'll have to be brief on that.
Ben, let me explain. The behavior of the management, the playing body, and the people of Ghana is a reflection of what we have in Ghana. This is a country that we don't like. If you speak the truth, you are an enemy. That is the problem. Because anybody who is doing something illegal or something wrong don't want to be exposed. But in other jurisdictions, you should accept and say, yes, I am wrong. I'm human. I didn't do it right. So maybe I should step aside for somebody else to come and do it. Look, Kwesi Nyantakyi left. And the whole Ghana, we were happy.
It was on the back of pretty murky circumstances.
They say be careful for what you ask for because you may get it. Okay, we asked for this new management. I get angry when an official who doesn't even throw a ball, left of all to kick a ball, gets the same bonus as a player
$100,000.
It's only in Africa or in Ghana. What is wrong with us? In Europe, the best league is the EPL. Go and ask, is that what they do? Go and ask the English FA. Is that how they do it?
But are you even considering the politics in... I was reading C.K. Akono talking about player, what do you call it, rosters, and how they would be influenced. Are we even looking at political actors? FIFA has its own rules in terms of insulating federations football associations from politics. But people will tell you that, oh, yes, but our money goes in there. Do you see what we're doing? Even the selection of coaches, even this and that. Until we regulate those, we'll not go anywhere.
That's what I'm
and that's why it has been dwindling.
But we know,
that's why we've been dwindling to
Ghana,
where we are.
you know, sometimes I laugh. We know what is wrong with us. Not that we don't know. We know. Look, how come the ministry would pretend as if the Ministry of Youth and Sport will pretend as if they don't know what is going on in the Black Stars? And the Black Stars also will pretend as if they don't know what the ministry... This whole nonsense, it doesn't make any sense. I'm not insulting anybody. It doesn't make any sense that we know. And from time immemorial, look, I've seen Black Stars. People actually volunteered. Okay, the CKJ and Fish, Ohinijan and Co. When they did Black Star, when Black Star was Black Star, now that we say we are more educated, we are more exposed, look at where we are. Because you know what? Any national team that changes the selection, almost every other game, will not amount to anything. And I repeat, until you have the base, this is the core Black Star players, 11 or 13 players that we know that for the next 2 years, unless maybe injury. Look, Kotoko will supply...
You have to wrap.
Kotoko will supply 9 or 8 players. House will supply maybe 5 or 7, 11 wise, Hazakes. Then they will form the Black Star. Nobody was playing international. Now to play in the Black Star, you should go and play your game outside before you can come back. It's in the reverse.
Okay, we have about 9 minutes more to go, but let's quickly do this. I want you to take a quick look at some of the stories here. The IGP is saying no cause for alarm ahead of the elections. He's allaying our fears. The NDC has accused the MPP of a plan to rig the December 7 polls. That ties into the General Opoku story. Have you followed that story? Would you like to read a bit of it for us?
I have followed it, and to me, it reminds me of Donald Trump. The reason why he's not talking about the elections is not rigged because he won.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, definitely.
No, but when, even before the elections, when certain things were happening,
yeah, I'm just
he was
saying,
already saying that the election was being rigged.
Before
but
the elections,
once he won, he was okay with it.
He filed 120 suits. and it's the same thing in Ghana. The same thing in Ghana.
But the question to ask is there any substance to it? In Joaboso,
there is not Joaboso.
No. I'm saying that at least we have a specific instance. Yes, Akando has spoken. And then they make mention of certain things. So let's just find out what the story says. And then it's
page
on page
7.
10.
No, this one is, it says NDC accuses MPP of plan.
That's page 10.
Rig. Oh, really? It says 7 here. Oh, this one.
That's it.
The National Democratic Congress, NDC, is alleging that the New Patriotic Party, MPP, wants to use Brigadier General Michael Opoku, the general officer commanding, the central command officer of the Ghana Armed Forces, to rig the elections for ruling party by stuffing ballot boxes in the Ashanti region on December 7th. Ben, you know, we hear this every election, like Dr. Asante said. Some of these things, I think, I would plead with the institutions. They should really keep their integrity well. We accuse Madam Charlotte Osei for similar things. I am sure if the power changes, I'm afraid, what's her name? Jane Mensah would also go through the same thing that Ms. Osei went through. It shouldn't be like that. We should let people do their job. And the people too should be seen, not just doing their job, but to be seen doing their job. When you have political apparatchiks being appointed, this is what happened. And I don't even mind that. The fact that you are a political apparatchik and you are appointed, the moment you get to that institution, your political thing should be Ghana. Because you didn't go there in the interest of the party. You went there to serve Ghana. And that's what happened. That's why in other jurisdictions, an appointee can challenge the president, like the guy who told Trump, when Trump was looking for 11,000 votes, in the last, not this one, the one before, he told Mr. President, I can't do it.
Is it Mike Pence, the vice?
No, it's not Mike Pence, another governor, one of those areas, one of those.
Yes. I think I.
He told him point blank, Mr. President, I cannot do it. And the man is still opposed because he protected the Constitution of the United States. In Ghana, the government and the parties make individuals disrespect our Constitution.
All right. We have to make tracks. Let me go to Dr. Asah Asante. I know you may have some thoughts, but let me quickly add these headlines and then you can reflect on them. The Daily Guide, Election 2024, police assures Ghanaians of robust security. Nana opens flower pot interchange. AG saves Ghana 4 billion Ghana cedis in GC net case. We've dealt with all of these already. Goyle posts strong performance and Tepahene endorses Bawumia. I have kept talking about chiefs getting into this. Whether this side or that side, I have always said that it can only end in one thing. But anyway, let me keep quiet. The Daily Searchlight, Bawumia should tackle Boku conflict. Martin Amidu writes as he takes on MPP leader over human security. And he's been saying that the vice president should show competence there. IGP Dampare and the assurance, Akwamuman is in mourning. Those are the final stories I will look at. Dr. Asah Asante, do you have any thoughts for us on these stories as we wrap? Hello, Doc. Are you with us? Dr. Asah Asante?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. Any thoughts on these stories?
Yes, I'll look at the story about General Opoku and all the accusations and all that. My hope and prayer is that all that is said about the general will not come to pass, and that we, one, will be vigilant and make sure that we get the basis right. Two, we also want to make sure that the institutions that are responsible for the conduct of elections and all the processes thereof are able to work and work well. That means that we, as a society, must contribute to our quota in this direction, making sure that we point out all the weaknesses and then stand fair to ensure that we get nothing but what the best process that would deliver the results December 7th. That is so important. We should not wait. We should begin the exercise now, because there are three phases in election: the pre-election, the election phase, and the post-election. In order, we want to make sure that we do the needful by being vigilant, by making sure that those who get them wrong, we call them out, and then making sure that we support the system to remain robust. The next one is the IDP and assurance that security will be guaranteed and all that. I have no doubt in my mind that the security apparatus have been working 24/7 and supporting the cause of security in this country. But sometimes, too, they get it wrong. It is natural with human institutions, but we don't want a repeat of the 2020 election where 8 people were gunned down and up to date. This state has pretended as if nothing happened. It is the dark spot in our Ghanaian electoral system. This election, we want to appeal to the IGP that this should not be repeated and that we should have an incident-free election. It is true that sometimes there are skirmishes one way or the other, but we urge the security apparatus that they should be professional and let us have peace. That is all that we need. And then I'll come back to look at Tepahene.
Doc, we have just about 35 seconds. Okay,
just Tepahene and the endorsement of Dr. Bawumia. The Supreme Court has made it abundantly clear that it's wrong. It is wrong for anybody to endorse any political candidate. The best you can do is to support a policy, but to endorse is wrong. So I don't know why we want to disrespect the Supreme Court ruling. And what is more is that we don't expect such behavior to come from thieves that will revere so much.
Right.
I think I'll end here.
All right, Doc, thank you so much. And when we say these, we always say that regardless of whose ox is God, regardless of which political actor is there, don't do this. whether it's Mahama, whichever person, don't do it. But some chiefs, well, let them go ahead. And when the consequences come,
you know, the same
I believe they will bear them.
The same chief will turn around when it is another person.
Yeah.
And that's what annoys me.
Yeah.
Because that means they are not loyal, they are not committed, they just want a favor.
Yeah.
It is all about favors.
Kofi,
Right.
thank you. There's
I want to shout out, we are going, or you still have some stories to do?
Go ahead.
Right, I want to shout out my friend, Serafina Robertson. Today is your birthday. Happy birthday, darling. I'll see you later today. Bye.
What's her name?
Serafina Robertson.
Is she a fancy?
Yes,
Well, let's head into
fancy.
sports now, right here on the AF show. We'll be right back.